Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Abomination Goddess podcast. We're happy to have you with us. I have
Yay.
Casie with me today. Well, we have a guest today, but I will introduce her in a second. Casie is an author of Abomination Born, which you can see on the screen here, her book cover. It is a fictional portrayal of her real life experience with the mystical realms. Her action-packed book is full of lessons and insights and calls for other Abomination Born across the world to start connecting, which is really cool and why everybody should buy it. She is an award-winning public speaker, and I think that you'll find watching this podcast and reading her books that she just effortlessly draws her audience into her world, both on the stage and in her books. And I believe that she is going to start hosting some chats and some shops maybe in the future. So look for that in her area. All right. My name is Ashley Kim. I am the author of Villainera Goddess. I wrote this book to help women on their journey to set boundaries, build confidence, and heal themselves. It's a very honest, open look at what I went through and the tools that I used during my villain era, which is ongoing. So I'm still using everything that's in there. And then our guest today is Rachel Williams. She is from Design Resilience. Rachel's YouTube channel provides ways, means, and methodologies to help you be your most resilient self when life throws its inevitable curveballs, which it always does. She is a breath of fresh air and she provides advice that we all need when it comes to digging ourselves out of the dark pits of despair, crawling towards the sunlight. That is where Rachel comes in. So, welcome, Rachel.
Thank you so much. I'm
Welcome.
so excited to be here.
Welcome to the crew. We're so excited. Obviously, we love Chris. And oh, for those who don't know, Chris is Rachel's husband, and he is in Casie, and we're in a writing group, Casie and I. And so that is how we met Rachel. And as soon as he started talking about her, when we all met in person last summer, we were like, oh, we can't wait to get our hands on her. And now we
Exactly.
have. So we're so
Yes,
happy to have you here.
she belongs.
Yes,
Thank
she
you. That's
belongs with
awesome.
us. So yeah, we are so excited. We kick the show off with what I call show and tell, where Casie and then this time Rachel also sent me images of tarot, oracle stones, all of the above, and we just go through them and just we all chat about them together. And I will go ahead and share my screen and we will bring it up. And then after that, we will jump into Rachel's journey and, just more about her YouTube channel and how you can access it and find it. All right. All right. Okay. So, hopping into our show and tell time, I think we can go ahead and start with Rachel's spread. Rachel, do you want to tell us what your intent here was, and then kind of what your reading and your outcome was for it?
For sure. So, when having been a listener of your show, I knew that this was part of it. And so, as I had the opportunity to join you guys, I was like, I'll just do a card pull on our friendship and like kind of what we're walking into. And I intended for three cards. Spirit gave me four. And so they came out in this order. And so we've got the Six of Cups, followed by the Emperor, followed by the Eight of Wands, followed by the Ace of Pentacles. And so, what I saw in this, Six of Cups makes me think of that kind of youthful sweetness, how easy it is to make friends, how you kind of feel safe and protected because you're young and you don't have the big scary world yet. And so, I love that idea. So, we enter our friendship that we're coming together as kind of just pure souls, that we are, excited to play with each other, and be friends, but that this is more than just a sweet little friendship, that we actually bring authority, that the three of us with our perspectives and skills and experience have a thing to say about things, and that this is weighty and powerful, and we'll probably notice that stuff's going to move quickly and swoosh us into an amazing opportunity that will not just be new beginnings, new conversations, new thoughts, but actually grounded in our material experience. So whether that begins to mean that we meet up more regularly, or it opens doors to opportunities for businesses or growth or things like that, that it's going to be a fun ride and
Yay.
we'll have a good time together. So that's kind of what I thought. I'd love to know what you guys
Yeah.
think.
Yep. I love that. Yeah, I love all of that. Casie, what are your thoughts?
I love that too. And ending with the Ace of Pentacles, and that's where we're being joined by the universe, and it's reaching out its hand towards us, and it's guiding us along. And so as we move forward, we're connected and we're manifesting. This is where things happen. I love that.
I love it. It makes my heart happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, Rachel had sent this to me, and so I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to do the same thing that she did. I'm going to do a three card pull as well." I did not get four, but I did get three. But then I texted her, I was like, "You are not going to freaking believe this because I also pulled the Six of Cups and the
Yes,
Emperor."
yes.
And I was like, "What?" So I did also get the Five of Swords, and I really, so I'm still learning to interpret tarot, and I liked Rachel's interpretation of this. Do you mind jumping in, Rachel, and kind of going through that again?
Not at all. I think the Five of Swords can be an ick card when you get it. You're like, what is this conflict? What is all of this going? And I think that in this particular situation, that we together bring clarity, or that we um, may have been kind of spread out in our energy and kind of like looking in a different directions as you do in conflict, and that this trio kind of centers us and brings us forward. So yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
it's as scary as I don't think it has to be
yeah,
scary.
I love that.
Yeah, and the so the Five of Swords moving into the Six of Cups. So the Five of Swords is maybe where we were at one time in our lives, as we're going around the spiral, and we come, the slinky spiral where you keep going up and up. We've all been down in the Five of Swords. So people could relate because everyone's been there. We've been in this pit. And then we move into the Six of Cups, which is women's medicine. And we're women do things together.
Mhm.
They just
We
they
do.
they're better when they do things together. And moving into the emperor, um, the ruler knows what's best for its people, and women know what's best for women.
Yay. Oh, I love that so much. Yes.
Your
Oh,
cards are just beautiful. They're just
Mhm.
beautiful.
yay. Oh, see, this is why I love this podcast. Yeah. So I'm obviously still learning how to read all this, but listening to you two, like you just fixed my week. Thank you. I love this so much. Yay. Okay. So let's go into this gorgeous thing right here.
That's an aventurine. And I have my little stone right here.
Here, do you want me to pull this up?
Aventurine, sure. And this is from that app on my phone that is so helpful when you're out and about and you want to know what a stone is. You can get apps on your phone to help you out. But aventurine is the fool on the tarot. It's the beginning. It's
Mm,
stepping into the journey. It's the grasshopper with his feelers trying to figure out which way to go. Aventurine is also kind of like the porcupine, how sweet they can be, but you don't want to mess with them either. You don't want to mess with them. I absolutely love aventurine, and I wear it all the time because life is an adventure. And
mhm.
even though they're spelled differently, aventurine instead of adventure, it is an adventure. Life is an adventure.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
I agree. I wear adventure. I was going to say adventurine, but I wear aventurine as well. I have a bracelet with on there, but yeah, I think it's not only is it just gorgeous, but yeah, I
Yeah.
love the meaning behind it.
Mhm.
Yay, new beginnings,
Yes,
new
perfectly scoped for today's
adventures.
conversation.
Yes, it
Mhm.
is. Okay, so I just had a couple other things that I was going to share. The first one is a book that took me by surprise, and it's called F That, an Honest Meditation. So obviously it is a silly book, but it kind of shocked me in how well it did as a very intentional book that guides you along. So for example, I only took one picture. It has gorgeous photos throughout, and then it's like it gives you one little thing, and then it says like simply turn the page, and you do, and it's another gorgeous photo, and it goes and turn the page again, and you do. So this entire book basically takes you through like an intentional meditation. And I liked
Oh,
how like physical and hands-on it was. So I got this as a gift from somebody, and I think it was like a kind of a joke, but kind of like I know you're into it kind of a thing. And it turned out to be a very helpful book that I did look through this morning, and it calmed me down a little bit. So, and obviously, it has cursing in it too, which is, right up my alley. So I wanted to show people, if you see this book out there, give it a shot because it was fun. I liked it.
You know, Ashley, when you read tarot cards, it or oracle cards, it's sort of the same thing. You're going into a meditation deeper into yourself. You see the first, and then you go into the
Yeah,
next, and go into the next, and it carries you through.
right. Yes, thank you. And you know what? For how long we've been doing this, Casie, today is the first time that I noticed you guys doing that. Like, and you do this every time, but today was the first time that I saw you reading it as kind of like a book or like a story.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, that makes so much sense to me. And I just never caught on until today.
And this
Um,
guy doing it as a book is just genius.
yes, it is, and it's so simple. It is so simple. It's yeah, genius, like you said. Um, okay, so the other thing that I did was so Casie and I were talking the other day about the weird things that's been going on. I'll unshare my screen for a second since okay. The weird things going on in my house where like we'll get up and all of our electronics are on. Like and at first I thought maybe it was our 5-year-old, but then there was stuff that was on that she couldn't even reach. I was like, okay, well, it's not her. And then I'm trying to think what all was going on. It was a wild and crazy time.
Things
But just
came
little
off the
things.
shelf.
Oh yes. Yep. So I was walking into the living room and picture frames flew off of a shelf and landed on the floor. And I was standing a little bit by it, but not close enough to touch it. And of course, my husband's like you didn't do that, right? And I was like, no, I did not do that. And so he's like, you need to figure out what's going on. And lights are flickering everywhere. I woke up, was it yesterday? I woke up with somebody like just poking me in the butt cheek, like because I was laying on my side. And I was like, oh, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, I know it's before 4 a.m. If I get woken up before 4 a.m., I'm not happy. And then cold air just kept blasting the side of my face. I'm like, okay, well, I know I need to do something. And so Casie and I were talking about it because I was like, I have to figure out um, if there's like a message for me or if someone's just wanting attention because I feel like it could be either or. And so Casie had said, start with like note cards or something and, ask like, is there something in the house that I need to pay attention to or like even do yes, no answers. So I started with the yes, no answers. And then, I moved it to, like I asked, is this an ancestor? Is this just the house spirit? Because our house spirit is very ornery. And so it could just be that as well. It was not. And then I moved to, are these my guides? And I did get yes for that one. And then I did ask, is there something wrong with the house that I need to know about? And the answer was no. And so then I said, are you just trying to communicate with me? The answer was yes. And so now I was like, okay, well, now I need to figure out like, how the heck am I supposed to do this? Because I'm still learning, like, this is all new for me. And so I did Oracle cards because I feel like I do connect with them a little bit more right now, just because I'm still learning tarot. And so the order I got them was I think this was the first one that I got was the Retreat Rest Be Held. Um, and then I got Protection as my second one, Call Back Your Power, Cut the Cord, Soul Retrieval. Um, and then the third one I got was Mintaken. I don't know how to say this. I'm guessing Longing for Home, Belonging, the original Light Workers. And I'm sorry, I just did this backwards. This is the first one I got was the Light Worker, and then the Protection, and then the rest was the order that I received these in. And so it did kind of help me because with the launch of my book, there has been just a little bit more fuckery out there. Um, and I've been getting a lot of oracle cards just around like being a teacher and protecting yourself while you do start to become a teacher, and things like that. And not a teacher as in like I'm not going to go, like teach school, but like a teacher as in that's kind of what my book is doing. So yeah, it was super helpful. I'm still learning to connect, in general. I do like all of this also somehow brought about something that has been kind of like poking in and out of my life lately, which is that I haven't connected with whoever really owns the land that I live on, if that makes sense. And so I also kind of wonder if some of that has to do with just the house acting up all the time. And so I was going to ask you, Casie, like what your insights were on that, and Rachel, you too, um, just connecting with your land and who owns it. Because I know that like, yeah, we bought this house, but this isn't my land that I'm on. And I feel like there is a bigger disconnect in this house that I'm on than I've had really in any of the other ones. So that was kind of another thing that like came out of all that too. Like, oh, like in my face, kind of like you can't ignore this anymore. And I know you've been thinking about it for weeks now, so get after it, kind of a thing.
Well, beings on the other side are so excited that they found someone who is sensitive to them. They're just thrilled. And so your Mintonkan longing for home, the original light workers. Okay, so these people are talking about your original home is where you came from, and they are the light workers. And so they're helping you to remember that, and they're calling you to call back your power and cut the cords and this
Mhm.
so cut, you've talked about that, whenever if somebody sends you something negative or whatever, you just cut the cords, and you've got the support from all these beings that are near your home there. And
Yeah.
then you have, what is a home? It's a place of replenishment, it's a place of
Mm,
retreat,
yeah.
and they're offering you this beautiful home, this place. And the more you open up yourself to it, the more they come in. You'll have thousands of light workers on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Home
that.
is very important.
It is. Yes, it is very important. Yeah, I like that. And I did not put the rest and retreat with the home, but duh, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes perfect sense. Yeah.
yeah.
I got
Um,
a sense of validation
mhm.
that when we had the opportunity to talk about your book, it was um, incredible vulnerability and
Mhm.
incredible honesty. And I think this series of cards is to let you know that you are connected to a much bigger power source than you
Yeah,
probably give yourself credit for, that you don't have to be vulnerable because this is your purpose. You're kicking down doors
Right.
for women. And when you have that original connection to the original light worker, you can call your power back and remember that you're safe. You were made
Yeah.
for
Oh,
this.
thank you. Yeah.
You were built for this. And when you bring that safety into yourself, then you'll rest. But you're in the right
Yeah.
place, doing the right
Oh,
time, doing the right
yeah.
things. Um,
Yeah.
know that you're not alone, like Casie
Right.
said.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you.
yeah, that's
Oh,
very, very good. Yes, yes.
I love all that. Thanks. Yeah, I knew you guys would help me. Yeah. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. Yeah, this week has just been kind of a hot mess. So, I was excited for those cards, and then I was very excited to hear what you both had to say about them, and that was helpful. Thank you, both of you.
And
I love
wherever you go in your travels, you bring your home with you then.
that. How would I do that? Just it's me or
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
you.
okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Real quick, Casie, you said something the other day. This is so off topic. I apologize. But you had said you were driving through with your parents and Al, and you knew that you had driven through land that was cursed.
Oh, yeah.
How often do you feel that? Because I have had people that have stories of moving into homes and then, having horrible things happen in their house that's unexplainable, and they move and they're like, it's cursed. But you knew it, like just driving on. But I don't know, it did make me wonder because with your book and I can't remember what chapter it was where you were in a different realm. And I think it was with the Native American man. And this is totally my interpretation, so jump in. But to
Mhm.
me, it felt like almost like, that was his homeland. The earth was the homeland, but it kind of wasn't as much anymore, but it was still their area of the earth or whatever. So to me, it's just interesting in how we connect with the earth without kind of acknowledging that, if that makes sense. And I do feel like more compelled to have a garden going and making sure that every single insect has their habitat and like all these little things in my own backyard to like revitalize like what's dead in the earth, if that makes sense. Does any of that go together in your brain, or is that all just like me being random, if that makes sense?
Well, there are these barriers that spirit will put up when they have a very sacred place. And so you'll feel it as maybe being a curse. It's a way to stay away. You come,
Mhm.
it's stay
Like
away.
repels them.
Hmm. And to go through it, to go, to go through something like that, um, y- they will they will do things to help you not to come through, make you
Mhm.
realize, turn
Mhm.
around, turn around,
Yeah.
because something very sacred is on the other side. And if you don't, if you notice it and it's like, oh, that's, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you,
That's
and
true.
just
Thank you.
keep on
Yeah.
going through. You just keep on
Yeah.
going through. It doesn't work for you, but it does help them keep the sludge out.
Mhm. Okay.
And
Yeah.
you'll when you go through through something where there's that barrier, you'll I feel it. um a lot of people will feel it, and they won't even know why they all of a sudden
Mhm.
feel irritable or grumpy or something like that, and it's usually because
Yeah.
they're coming close to a very sacred place.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess it's kind of like putting protections around your house. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll have people over and then someone's
yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't make it all of a sudden." And then I find out later they were like totally crap talking me or something. I'm like, "Oh, I think my house stopped you from coming over." Thankfully.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Or something
Rachel, I
will
know that,
break at your house. Something, oh, we
yes,
can't have
and I
anyone
pay
over, the
attention.
water line
Yeah.
just broke, or
Yeah. Yes. Or if someone is over and they break something, I kind of also pay attention to what they break. Because I don't know, sometimes I feel like it means something. Not every time, obviously, not every single time. Sometimes things are accidents, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's a message behind it. But okay, Rachel, I have a question for you
Yeah.
because you are getting ready to move. What all are you doing
Oh, I'm
to kind
so
of,
excited.
I don't know, I guess sink into your new home and protect it and like do all the things?
Yeah. So the first thing I'm doing is kind of leaving this place because this home that we're in has been um, instrumental in the construction of Chris and Maya's life. So the street address was 134. So got the 8 for infinity and kind of the abundance flow and everything. And we've absolutely seen that. Um, he proposed to me in the backyard 2 days after we moved in. We got married in our backyard. We have
Oh, I love that.
completely Thank you. Yeah, it was so sweet. So sweet. And we have changed the face of this house and the inside of this house, and we have grown up in it. We have become better versions of ourselves in it. And so the first thing I'm doing is just honoring that. And so my intention is, or what I'm actually going to do is walk around with my phone and video as I walk the property and just thank it for everything it gave us and remember the changes that we went through together and I'll kind of honor that. And then because I don't want to bring sadness or feel like I haven't served, thanked it back for me.
Yeah.
And then when we go to the house, so I've been watching all kinds of videos and learning all kinds of house magic and things. And so certainly, um, I think I am most closely aligned with kind of word witchery. I've been in, a writer in marketing and communications my entire career. And so that's really where I intend to speak life into my house, but also listen to it and let it tell
Yeah.
me who it is and what it is and what we're supposed to do there. And bringing so much joy and energy and just so much looking forward to it. We've been planning these for years. Um, uh, and then using salt for protection, using incense to cleanse and to be an offering, cleaning stones in around the house and in the house and just all,
Yeah.
all, all kinds of things, just
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
excited.
Oh, I love that. Yay. I'm so excited for you guys.
Yay. Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
Uh,
too.
yeah. I love it. Yeah, we had so this is way back, like my last marriage. This was a long time ago. Um, but when we moved, first of all, I was first learning about like ghosts and spirits and all that stuff, and I didn't really understand how it all worked. But I remember when we moved into our new house, I didn't want to bring anybody with me because we had like a grumpy old man, we had a lady who was a smoker, we had like four kids, like those were the ghosts, not the people. And I was like, you guys can stay. Like, I don't need you to come with me at all. And so I was kind of researching that kind of stuff. But since we were going to paint every single room, we wrote like on the walls, like we just claimed the house as ours and we like wrote stuff on the walls and then painted over it. So it would just be there forever. And that is something like my kids will still like we still do that. Well, if we're gonna paint the room, like let's write on the walls real quick and like put a message in there. So I don't know, just try it if you want to,
That's a
but
good idea.
Yes,
I
definitely.
I really liked it. Like I wish I would have written on the floors before carpet. Like
Right.
I wish I would have been writing everywhere. But yeah, I don't know, but using words like you said, because that's kind of how I am too. I do like using words, and I feel like yeah, I have a little bit more intention behind it if I could do that. So yeah, write all over your walls
Another
if you
thing I
want.
did was I researched protection sigils, and
Mhm.
it said that you can use your initials. And so I played around with configurations of my initials, and I found one that I really like. And so I think I don't know if I'm going to have it made into like a plaster thing or some sort of something to put in a um, rosemary bush at my front door, kind of in the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah.
Um,
I
so,
love
but
that.
that felt neat. Like that felt like magic, like understanding the
That
principles of something and
is.
then
Yeah.
making it for myself. Like
Yeah.
that felt cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All that intention behind it. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
think you do get like the zing, right? When you know that you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes, this
that's
is
right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I did something somewhat similar where I did a sigil. I couldn't even tell you anything about it. The very first time I did it, um, I placed it, I think behind a picture frame, and I didn't even touch it and the entire thing just shattered. And so then I was like, oh well, I think it did something. And so then I started over and did it again. And then that time I put it hooked my grandma. So my grandma left me this gorgeous brooch. And so I kind of hooked the paper through it. And then I put that inside this like really cute mirror triangle thing that hangs and put it there. And nothing has broken since then. So I think whatever happened there, we got rid of whatever that was. But yeah, I pay attention to who notices because it's like you don't notice it in our house, right? Like you would have to be like kind of squatting down and like looking at this one shelf to even see this thing. But I do like to see who's like, what is that over there? And I'm like, why are you looking? But yeah, that's awesome. I like the idea of putting it outside and like putting it in a rosemary bush or something like. I love that idea. I think that's such a good idea.
And maybe get a new broom.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
Yep.
It is Colorado houses all have basements and Texas houses don't. So we will certainly be investing just generally in cleaning supplies because there's a whole nother floor to manage. But being thoughtful about the broom will be important.
Yes. Yeah, and I do like that the broom does show up in like so many cultures. Like you know it works because it shows up in so many
Mhm.
cultures. And I remember when Sony first moved in here and his cousins when they would move in into homes, the aunties would come in with their brooms and sweep to the door and sweep everything out. And then
That's right.
Casie, yep, would talk about the light and love and sweeping with her broom and the outs sweeping outside, towards the street as well. And I don't know. I think it does change the
And
neighborhood.
sweep
I
the street.
completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yes, which I
sweep the
have not
street
done,
in
but
front
yeah.
of your house
Yep.
with light and
Yeah.
love in every stroke of the broom.
Mm.
hmm But yeah, I would say our neighborhood is completely different. It's weird. It's like you can feel the bubble around it now. And it's, it's like when you're leaving the bubble and when you're coming back in. But I like it. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So I have taken us on like 40 different tangents. And Rachel, I want to leave time to talk about design resilience and your journey
Yeah.
to get there and your goals with it and what you've been doing. I will just let you kind of take over and then we will jump in with questions if that's okay.
Amazing. Thank you. Yes. So desired resilience sort of came to form last summer. I had been unexpectedly laid off from a job, and I was the kind of person that put a lot of my self-worth into the work that I did. And so there was a lot of shadow work that had to happen, and I was working with a therapist, and she told me that she thought I was managing through the change better than I had, or better than other people that she had seen kind of manage through. And so I started thinking about why, what are the components of my life that allowed me to weather this storm? And it kind of boiled down to five. So the areas of self-concept, the belief that you can successfully navigate anything in front of you, financial stability, physical well-being, community, and personal growth and development. And so it felt very, once my therapist said that, the
Yeah.
ideas just sort of came and it clarified very quickly and easily. And so I felt like it was meant to be. And the more I explored it, the more I realized that I'd always believed that going through hard stuff was for a purpose, whether it's to offer support to someone who's going through it later after you have, or to teach. And it started pulling all of the things that I'd gone through in my life together and sort of congealing, I guess, coming
Hmm.
together. So what I started doing was a YouTube channel, and then I take the audio and put it on Apple Podcasts, and I have a website where I post the content as a blog. And the intention is to help people today do little bitty changes that set them up, whether you get a really good something that changes your life or a really hard something that changes your life. And it's been amazing to get feedback from people who have watched some of the episodes and felt like it really spoke to them. It helps me feel like I'm doing something in the right direction. So big crazy dream would be to take all of the learnings that I'm putting out weekly in, video content, make a book,
Hmm.
have a tour, have public conversations with people, and get to be there. I have the playlist for my stage, my hour long like keynote speech. I already know the songs that would play between the sections, and
Oh, I love it.
um
So you're halfway there.
so I'm dreaming I'm
Yeah.
dreaming about it. But it's just a way to help share my life experience without being super like advicey. It kind of scratches that itch when I hear a friend going through something. I don't need to jump in to tell them like the top three things they need to do to fix their life. I can just hold space. And then I could go create a video that week that's like, here's the top three things I would have told that friend.
Oh, good
Yep.
idea. Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so yeah,
I
that's
love that.
that's what it is.
Yeah. I love it. I love what you're doing. I think it's like perfect timing, right? I think it is such perfect timing. And your approach is just graceful and kind and easy, I think. And I think that's what I like too about it. Um, I like that you said good and bad things that happen because I do think good things can kind of turn somebody upside down on their head too. Sometimes if you don't think you're worth it, if you're not ready, like you have to be able to accept the good things too, not just the bad things. So I like that as well.
Thank
And I
And
cannot wait for
and
your speech.
yeah. And sometimes when we're not on the path that we should be on, just because we're good at everything doesn't mean that we're on the path that we should be on. And
you.
sometimes and sometimes I will be spit out of something,
Ah,
and it's because I had just stepped onto a path, even though I'm really good at it. I was stepped onto that path and I didn't need to be there. I needed to be someplace else. And so the universe will spit me out. And it sort of like feel like a failure, but I know now, I know that it's not a failure. It's nothing that was wrong. It's just I was going the wrong way.
Yep. And I think uh, you know, when a job is taken away in some aspect, it's hard to see, well, especially if you don't know what's coming next, right? Like it literally could take a year for you to look back and be like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, or like this is good for me. But at the time, it's like, well, obviously I'm a loser. Like here I am. So yeah, it is hard.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's good to hear other women talking about that because nobody nobody gets through life without something being taken away from them that they thought was for them. Like
Mhm.
Casie said, I'm good at this, like and
Mhm.
like,
yeah.
I don't know, why is it getting taken away? And you just don't know that there is something better, or you're not listening to your intuition, or there's something. or
Yes.
it's just time to pivot. Like you just don't know. But yeah, I think that is one of the reasons why this is just a perfect time for you to be doing all of this, and I'm glad that you're doing it. Yeah, welcome to the whatever this stage is that we're all trying to do online and the connecting, and
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Thank
Um, yeah, there's something else you said I was going to comment on, and now my brain is um it left it. So yeah, I
Yeah,
And
don't
so
even
the
know.
you're
oh, go ahead.
you're it's called Design Resilience, and
Designed resilience.
it's on YouTube and it's open to anybody.
Yep, YouTube open to anyone. Designedresilience.com also has all the content. If it's hard, because it's a smaller channel, so sometimes the YouTube search can be not reveal it. But it also on Apple Podcasts, and it has a landing page on LinkedIn um, for the business
Oh,
girlies.
yes. And I like that it's on LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't have enough of that. I mean, they always have like people posting like inspirational, like long-winded stuff, right? But it's always like some sales guy. It's never
Right?
like here's the real thing from a woman. So when I saw that you were posting on LinkedIn, I was like, this is genius. Like
Thank
this
you.
is genius because that's where women are sitting, like they're trying to grow themselves, in their careers or their businesses. Like that is where they're sitting. And so yeah, I thought that was freaking genius. Oh, I
Thank you.
just remembered what I was going to say. Um, when you said after like talking with a girlfriend and then going to create a video later, that's what I do with my newsletter sometimes too, where I'm like, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to say anything, and then I'm like typing it out. So I did this, I think it was earlier, no, it was late last year. I had done this where I kept my mouth shut and then I made a newsletter like about all the things. And so the person that I wish I could have said it all to forwarded that to me and goes, this is the best newsletter that you've written. I felt like this was written for me and I received your message. Like, no, it was about you. It was the best.
It's
I'm like, oh, well, whatever. It still worked. It was, oh, but it cracked me up. So I do the
yeah,
same thing.
that's perfect because they'll find it, you set with intention. People will find it when they're ready for it.
When they're
And
ready. Hmm.
yeah, and in the
Yeah,
conversation, so often please just tell me I'm okay.
right.
Don't tell me
Yeah.
how to fix it. Please just
Yes.
tell me I'm okay. And so that
Yeah.
Yeah.
lets
And
me do both.
sometimes we need to be in that pit. We need to be in the darkness for a while because when we're in the darkness, sometimes it needs to be very, very dark before we can see our inner glow.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yes.
We need that. And I think it's wrong to take a person out of that before they're ready. It
Mhm.
just because that's part of the joy that we deny them. Uh, we can uh, we can guide them, but not take
Mhm.
them.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point, Casey. I never thought about that, but yeah, that is a good point. And honestly, you kind of can't take them out, right? Like you can feel like you took them out, but they still have one foot in, or like like if it's forced, it's not done. Like that process
Yeah,
is not done at all, at
yeah.
all.
It's just a
So yeah,
mess.
yes, exactly. And then yeah, and oh, what was I saying? That fairy, that bodacious bodak, that meddling, that well-meaning, like
Yes,
that's where
that
that
can
comes
fix it.
in. Yes, I'm gonna fix it for you, and then no, just make it messier. Yeah. So, all right. Sorry if you can hear my dog snoring. We're BFFs and she doesn't leave my side. Okay, so I was just gonna recap with our learnings. Rachel, do you want to list off your website address and your YouTube channel one more time?
Sure. So it's the website is designed. So it's designed with the ED, designed because you are building habits that will design it for you. So it's designedresilience.com. The handle on YouTube is also Designed Resilience. The podcast on Apple Podcasts has the same name. And the logo looks like a little black shield with cursive DNR on it because I think that it is a powerful but graceful process.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have you check it out.
Yay. Yay. And I apologize. I've
Yeah.
been calling it design resilience, not designed. So I apologize for that. I specifically wrote it down like, do not forget there's not an ED at the end of it. So that's
Oh,
all on.
yeah, sort of the idea that it will be when you need it, it'll be there because you built
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I love that. I
And
love that.
designed is an action word.
Yeah.
Mhm. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Because
that.
there are active, though I didn't do them in any sort of linear order, there
Hmm.
are little battles to fight along the way to having it. So, yeah.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah, for sure. And then battles to keep it too. Yeah. Yep. I love that. Okay. What were our lessons today? I have to think back. I don't know. Yep, this is the way my brain's been all week. Our lessons are strong women, strong women guiding women, supporting women, protect your home,
Remember who you are.
Yeah,
remember who you are. No,
remember
that's
who
a good
you
one.
are.
Thank you. Remember who you are. Use your broom.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, anything I'm missing? I don't know. Yeah, okay. Awesome. All right. Well, anything else that anyone wants to mention before we hop off? Anything for our listeners?
It was a pleasure having you here, Rachel. I hope
Thank
you
you
can
so
come back
much.
again
Awesome.
I would
anytime.
be honored. This was wonderful. I love the conversation. I love the approach. I'm so grateful for your time.
It's so exciting having you
Yeah.
here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll definitely have you back maybe once you get settled in, and then you can
Yes,
give us an update and yeah, do our show
That'd
and
be
tell again.
wonderful.
Because all of your stuff's packed up, right?
Yes, I retained one journal and one deck because I couldn't do that period of time without any tools. So,
yeah,
Right,
but
right.
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else is all my crystals, all my other decks, all my everything's packed away. So,
Yeah. All right. So yeah, next time you'll have more for show and tell for us too. So that'll be
yes.
exciting.
Mhm.
Yay. Okay, awesome. Hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday and the rest of the week.